to the gates of Hillis. This peaceful mining planet in System 4 is now completely encircled by the Dom's Armada. General Keck, Supreme Commander of the Alpha Forces, would like to take this opportunity to address a final message to the population.
And I'm going to go ahead and cut that speech off. You're only going to hear it about 1,000 more times in the game. My name is Casual E, and welcome friends and family to the first episode of Casual E Gaming. The purpose of this channel is going to be reviewing games that are more casual gamer friendly. I'm looking for games that are cheap for the most part, affordable. I personally know that I have a busy schedule. I go to school, I work, and at the end of the day, I still can't afford a $60 video game every week. So, the whole purpose of this is to hopefully show you some great games. This is Beyond Good and Evil. I think it's one of the best games ever made. I'm not saying it doesn't have its fair share of flaws, but I overly enjoy this game. Although I will say I'm biased, the nostalgia of this game hits me pretty hard. So, fair warning, if you're not into anything too cartoony, this is a silly game at times. As far as dialogue and graphics go, if you're looking for more, God of War gore or anything like that, you've kind of came to the wrong place. However, if you're looking for a great story, well, this game has it. And although that story is probably pretty cliche by now, it wasn't to me whenever it first came out. So, I used to think this game wasn't marketed very well, with how serious of a story it has, and how silly it is at times. And I realize now that wasn't a marketing problem. It was very specifically targeted, I think, to early teens. I remember playing this game whenever I was 12 or 13, and it was really the first intellectually stimulating game that I ever played. And I think that's important. I think this game was targeted to kids that are first starting to realize that the world isn't sunshine and rainbows all the time. There's still good people everywhere, but the bad people may be the people that are in charge of your government. And I think that's a really important issue. And this game really got me thinking, and I've played this game so many times. I've probably only beat it 3 times, but I love this game. Like I said, it does have its fair share of flaws, and we will be getting to those flaws. But I love this game. I think it's very artistic. I can listen to the art. I'm sorry, not the art, but the music. Fair warning, I'm from Missouri, southern Missouri, so if that starts to come out, I apologize in advance. I'm going to try and keep it as much under wraps as possible. Just bear with me. Hopefully we'll have some fun. Hopefully I won't bore you too much. But yeah, and real quick, I think one of those kids is actually wearing a shirt that has a Half-Life emblem on it, which is funny. I love the Half-Life franchise as well, and it's great to see games pay homage to such a great franchise. I was actually thinking about doing the second Half-Life game as a Let's Play as my first video, and I just got to thinking, Beyond Good and Evil really doesn't get the recognition that it deserves, and Half-Life 2, I don't know if it's quite as popular as it should be, but it certainly gets more recognition, and I wanted to do a game that it's a passionate play for me. This was one of my first introductions to serious gaming, which I don't know if you could argue that this game is a serious gaming game, but it's certainly enjoyable, and it certainly got me more into video games. Here's one of those flaws, though, that I was talking about. This is an example of how easy, I guess, the combat system is, and easy isn't necessarily a bad thing in games. I've been known to use the easy mode quite a bit in games, and I'm trying to get away from that. But, they could have added a few other options rather than, dodge, and then mash your melee button. It's a game that requires stealth, and I understand that, but all the same, I think the combat could have been a little bit more creatively done, and at times, later on in the game, we're going to be using the camera, and it'll you have some sort of glove that shoots discs. I don't know. It's not really a great system to use, and to be honest, I don't know if the controls, like the new system that they're using for the 360, I don't know if it's really that different, or I just remembered the game's controls being a lot tighter than they initially were. And that's a possibility. This I've learned that this game really does have some serious flaws in it, and I've been trying to address them to give it a fair review. It's not enough to make the game unenjoyable for me, and I hope for you as well. I think this is a great game, and I think everybody should at least try to play it sometime. I don't want to force anything your way, but I certainly think this game is enjoyable. I think the characters... Well, to be fair, I think the only lovable character in this game really is Paige. He's the only character that really doesn't seem bland, or, just lazily written half the time. Jade is supposed to be a relatable character, so I understand that she's fairly quiet most of the time. However, Double H, who later becomes your companion in the game, is just... Well, I mean, he's just a two-dimensional character. They may as well have given you a robot to run around with you. I know. If you're a fan of Double H, that's fine too. I think he has some great lines in this game. I think he's really funny at times, but you can't argue that, if... I don't know. I don't want to make anybody mad here. It's a personal issue. I think that they could have done much more with the character. And I arguably think Paige is the only lovable character in this game. He's funny, he's caring. You can tell he's had a rough background with the lone scar over his eye, which shows you that he's not always been the passionate orphanage owner that he is. And what makes this game really is the relationship that Paige has with Jade, and the fact that he's the only thing she really has. And the camaraderie between them, is the sense of kinship between them, really makes this game, I think. But I'm excited to see the sequel if it ever comes out. I've heard it's going to be this year. I'm a little frightened because I've heard it's only on Wii U, and I apologize if you're a Wii U fan. Like I said, I'm not trying to make anyone mad here. I just think this game needs to have more options as far as promoting itself. And if it's only going to be on Wii U, then we're going to see the exact same thing happen to this game. It's going to be in a very small market. Hardly anyone's going to pick it up again. And, that's a shame. And I don't want to see that happen to this game again. Ha! Segundo. The only character I've ever seen in a video game whose chin is so long that they put the cleft behind it. Oh my. I really want to see the second one. I think they really left out a lot in this game. And that's one of the flaws, I think, with it. You're constantly teased with this idea that Jade has this almost alternate identity, and you don't know anything about her past, you don't know anything about her parents other than that they were friends with Paige, and that they're not around anymore. And I really want to see, where this character came from, why these DOMS creatures are after her. And I think this game promotes a lot of really great things, and this is actually one of them, in the sense that we should all be involved in the environment that we are surrounded by and that we live in. And granted, I don't think in all reality that if you were given a job to catalog, that they would send you 150 credits for a picture of a common housefly. I do believe that conservation is a serious issue, and I'm really glad that this game kind of tackles that, because you don't see that very often in video games, and I think that's a pretty unique topic, especially, well, for a game at this time. I mean, you'd think that you would have seen something maybe a little bit sooner. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe there has, and I've just not come across it, but really I think this is a game that really promotes you taking pictures of stuff that could even kill you. And everything is important. Everything in the world around you is important. It's all part of a balance, and I love that aspect of this game. But for those of you who are fans, I'd like to know. I mean, what do you think about the sequel to this game only being on one console? I mean, I personally think that's pretty disappointing, and I know that there's a lot of hardcore fans out there that, maybe don't want to purchase a Wii U, and I think that's unfair. But, maybe I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining, and I don't want to be that guy. So, tell me how it is. Tell me what you think about it. I mean, I honestly don't know a whole lot about the Wii U. I personally, I have not been attracted to anything I've seen about the console. Personally, I need to get a hold of a good PC and start PC gaming. I've got some friends that do that, and it seems to work out fairly well. Games are cheaper, and overall, it's a better experience as long as you can get a hold of a decent PC. And I apologize if you see any screen trimmers or anything. This is my first gaming video, whatnot, and if you have any issue with the quality or have any ideas as far as anything I can do, anything about the audio, just let me know. I'm always up for taking advice and constructive criticism. And I'm working on my speech. I've let myself go. I used to be in debate, and I used to keep my uhs and ums under control, and well, there it is. It's really gotten away from me. So I am a little bit nervous too. So like I said, I hope I can entertain you. I really want to introduce as many people as possible to this game. It's a passion play for me, like I said, and I think just about everyone who enjoys a good video game could pick up this game and have fun. And I think that's what really makes a good video game. And there's me having a little trouble with the camera system in this game. That's another slight issue with this game, is the fact that this is a stealth game, and like I said, I remember the controls being a lot tighter whenever I played it on GameCube. But I don't know. I don't know if something got lost in translation, but I find I have a lot of issues with the camera in this game now, and I think that's a serious issue for a game that considers itself a stealth game. But, maybe I'm wrong. I do like the storage system in this game as well. I think this was the first time I've ever seen a game explain how you can pick everything up and carry it. And I see that system a lot in games nowadays. One of my favorite franchises, which I've grown tired of, and they just introduced a 6th character. But I love the Borderlands franchise, and they've used kind of the same thing, a digital storage system, and I had never seen that until this game. But folks, we'll talk more. I hope you had fun. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Please subscribe, give me a like, leave a comment. I appreciate you watching. Thanks again.